You're laying me off, really? You said we were family, Russell. What am I supposed to tell this family? What am I supposed to tell them?
This was one of the most excruciating moments of my life. The moment that I nearly lost everything for myself and also the people I cared about.
So this is the story of probably the longest year of my life. Starting out, we were on top of the world in the middle of the recession and we were thriving and having so much success. And then literally overnight, we got all of our merchant accounts shut down. Within a couple weeks, I had to lay off 93 of my employees, including friends and family members. And so I remember I went to a bankruptcy lawyer that was just down the street.
Do you have any money?
I have a little in my wallet.
How much?
$100.
Great, I'll take that. And you could be my client. And I bet we can get you out of your lease. And maybe you won't have to file bankruptcy.
How are we gonna do that?
Have you ever acted before?
So we set the call with the landlord. I remember the landlord was actually in the floor above us. So we get there, I walk into my landlord's office and he said, "Hey,
I'm Russell, and I lease the 7th floor below you. This is my lawyer."
Hi, I'm Russell's bankruptcy attorney. And Mr.
Babowitz.
Mr. Babowitz, this is the worst case I've ever taken in my 30-year career. The worst. Never have I had such a hopeless situation.
It's hopeless.
It's a really bad spot. It's horrible.
Horrible.
So hopeless.
Beyond repair, really.
Extremely hopeless.
I am in a bad spot.
Okay, I'll let you out of your lease. I need you out by Friday.
Thank you.
for me, I was like, this is a huge win. It means I don't have to pay $30,000 next week for our mortgage, so I never saw him again. And we spent that entire week like getting rid of stuff. And I remember the last day down at the call center, somebody had like a Scentsy candle at one point and tipped over and there was like wax in all the carpet. And I was like, I can't pay the fee to replace this carpet. It was like we were all crammed in this little tiny office because it was all we could afford. And we were trying to figure this thing out. So we'd create an idea, we'd launch it, make a little bit of money enough to cover payroll. We were doing little things to try to keep afloat.
Second quarter projections are looking great.
I was on the site looking through all the different websites that were for sale. And I remember there was one website that popped up and it was called championsound.com. This is the idea, this is the thing that's gonna change everything. I put an offer in on the auction site and we won.
And we won the auction for championsound.com, guys. Stacy, if you could transfer that to our servers, that would be awesome.
Hey, we have a problem. This is coded in Ruby on Rails, so we're gonna need a new server.
What's Ruby on Rails?
It's a different programming language.
Stacy couldn't do anything and the site was broken and all these problems were happening. They had a couple customers. The customers were messaging us angry, like it's not working and things aren't happening. And then I was walking out the door and I had this weird impression as I was leaving. The impression was like, there's somebody, one of your customers probably knows Ruby on Rails. Maybe they'll partner with you. And I was like, huh. So I walked back in, turned my computer back on, and went to my customer list and I sent an email to all my customers. And then one guy sent a message through, he's like, hey, I'm a Ruby developer and it's like, I have my own business on the side. I'm not interested in being employed, but if you're looking for a partner, I'd be more than interested to look at it. And I remember at first I was like, this is maybe a little nervous. I remember clicking on this thing, going to his Facebook profile, and I looked at it, he's like a super normal looking guy. And I was like, there's no way this guy's like a hardcore programmer. And I saw his beautiful wife and his daughter. But I messaged him and he said, yeah, just send me the login and I'll see if I can fix it. And while I was in there, I noticed this, and this, and I changed this, and I added this, and all these things. And he's like, oh, and by the way, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? And he had all these ideas, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, who is this guy? Like, we started getting to know each other, no more weight on the shoulders. We had this shot where we could be creative again. I wasn't building something to like keep myself out of jail. So Todd started coming to Boise. We'd fly to Boise probably once a quarter, so we'd fly to Boise and we'd just come up with ideas.
There is an article about a tech company which just got $5 million in funding, and it is a really basic tech company. It's really simple. They build landing pages, basically.
This company got $5 million in funding? I mean, we could build this company this week. We can clone it and compete against it. We could build this company tonight.
I know. Let's build it.
And so for that week, we sat there in front of a whiteboard for an entire week. And then the very last day is like, well, what are we gonna call it?
What if we call it ClickFunnels?
That's it.
Well, good hackathon, my friend.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Look, the last couple of years I've been working with you kind of as an employee and doing some stuff. But this project, if I'm gonna go all in, I wanna be partners.
I had so much fear and anxiety around that. And as I looked at him before he got out of the car, I was just like, I felt this like weird, like calming feeling of just like, it's gonna be okay.
Let's be partners.
All right, sounds good.
From there, he flew home to Atlanta and he sat down in his basement office and spent the next 3 or 4 months building the first version of ClickFunnels, and the rest is history. It's interesting because you think about in any of our lives, there's a couple like key things. Like you pick a spouse. If you do good, it can be an amazing experience. If you pick the wrong spouse, it can be the hardest thing you could possibly experience in this life. If you're picking a business partner, it's like a spouse. So because of that, like I always had so much fear. And when everything collapsed and people started leaving, that was the first time I realized, I'm like, oh, most of these people were here for a paycheck. They weren't here because of the mission. I remember being so hurt by that. Outside of marrying my wife, it was the second greatest decision I ever made, saying yes to Todd that day.